We're not always your therapist. We are human first.
Oh, you should know this. You're a therapist. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a therapist, but I'm not in the session room. I am not a therapist right now. I've actually avoided people. I've avoided them because I don't want to talk. And I know that they're going to bring up something about therapy. I'm going to go the other way because I have boundaries.
We need to disconnect from our jobs. And I know a lot of people that feel that way. Like, we have families, we have our own mental, like, we need to be able to disconnect. Welcome to episode 16.
We can drive.
And we have taken a week break. So you guys wondering why we took a little week. I'm sorry, but I was in Italy.
Yes, she took a week break.
I took a little break. I was in Italy visiting some family.
Well deserved.
It was an amazing experience. Glad to be back, but life-changing. If you've never gone to another country, it does not even have to be Europe. Like, it is life-changing. It really is. And it makes you appreciate what you have, and also makes you appreciate other cultures.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's just, like I said, I could do a whole episode on what I learned and just how I feel.
One day.
I will.
Well,
I will
and you know
one
what
day.
I was going to say? It's funny. I reached out I saw a friend of mine and he travels all over creation. I mean, always on a motorcycle. And I saw him, and you talk about unhinged. And I'm already told him I wanted to book him for October because we're going to talk about travel and mental health.
Perfect.
That'd be great.
Oh,
So
yes.
there you go.
Yes, we could do travel and mental health one on a topic. But
Yes.
as a reminder to our listeners, you know, if you ever want to email us, you can email us at admin@Bella Mental Health, Nella C at Bella Mental Health, Robin M, or Tajuna J.
Tawana J. Oh, that is, I'm not going to live that down now.
Oh my God.
Tawana
Tajuna.
TAJUNA.
That's it. J at Bella Mental Health.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's so good.
Tawana. I'm so used to calling you TJ.
It's okay, Nella. Don't even
Forgive me.
No, I do forgive you. Robin just makes it worse.
She's the bully.
It's better
of the
than
group.
Donna.
Just so you
Brenda.
know.
Oh, Brenda. That's
Okay, Robin Ann, let's get down to business.
Robin
Y'all, Robin, yeah. It's Robin. Y'all, it is a unhinged Friday today because once again, our beautiful boss lady, she's been, siesta-ing. Meanwhile, Tajuna and Brenda here, you see this
We've been in the
whole
ditches.
thing,
Oh
this
my
whole thing
gosh.
happening right here.
Yes, they held down the fort for me while I was
did.
gone.
We were
for
holding
sure.
it down with
She taught us well.
Yes, they did a great job. I cannot complain.
She did.
So today's topic
Is a good one.
Is a good one because we were talking about basically therapists, and but we're not always your therapist.
Yeah.
So we are human first.
Right.
And this could also, spin into other people that can connect with, if they're not even a therapist, like whatever business you're in. I'm sure you can recognize what happens when you tell people, hey, I'm an attorney or I'm a doctor. Well, guess what? When people find out that we're a therapist, sometimes we get some, crazy questions or, and I don't know what the craziest thing you've ever, like, Robin, what is the craziest thing you ever had said to you after, you were asked or you told them you were a therapist?
Well, first of all, the funniest thing is that when people ask me, they're like, oh, okay, so what do you do, whatever. And I said, yeah, okay, well, it's a couple things. I said, I'm a therapist. They always go, physical? And I go, no, matter of fact, mental. And then they just go, oh. I go, yeah. Imagine me, your therapist.
Yeah,
Let's
they're probably
go.
like, you mean you're in a mental?
Yeah. And I go, yeah, listen, I just said, listen, I just got to be crazier than my clients. And literally, and it's funny because me, I go a little sideways and they just look at me and I go, oh no, I'm being serious. Like, I really am. And they just go, okay. And, I go, but you can keep talking. Like, go ahead. And so I don't think they know what to do with me. And so, I do play with it a little bit, but I am trying to think when you said like, where is or what? I don't know. What about y'all? Like,
Yeah, I don't think it's so much as what's the craziest or the funniest or, question that anybody's ever asked me. It's just people just automatically, for me, when they find out I'm a therapist, because sometimes, my conversation tells on me. Because they can kind of see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we do this all the time. This is a part of us. So when you start to talk to people, they're like, wow, you give really great advice. Or, wow, what do you do?
Who are you?
But I think the weirdest thing for me is once people do know, and look, I'll say it this way, family. Like when family, of course, family knows, most of your family knows. And when they see you go a little sideways, they're like, oh, you should know this. You're a therapist. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a therapist, but I'm not yours. You know, or when they see you come unhinged, they're like, you don't get a bad day. Yes, I do. I get a bad day.
You.
There are some days that my marriage is falling apart.
Yes.
There's some days that my kids are acting crazy. What do you mean? You know?
Yes.
So that's mainly what I deal with. They're like, well, you're a therapist. You should know this.
I agree with that. And you know, another thing that made me think of what happens a lot is like, if they meet me and I'm like having a great conversation and then they find out and then they kind of like tone back.
That's what I was just going to say.
And they're like, have you been psychoanalyzing me this whole time? And I'm like, no, I'm like, I'm off duty. Like, first of all, I don't want to psychoanalyze anybody when I'm off duty. So like, I'm just having a great conversation with you. I'm not, and then they think I'm judging you, or it's like, no, I'm not on duty. You're not paying me by the hour. We're just having a good conversation. So I notice sometimes that's happened, you know, especially when I'm out networking. So if I'm out networking at all these events that I have to do, and they'll find out, you know, like they know I'm an owner of something, but then they find out it's a mental health. Oh, have you been analyzing me this whole time?
Wow.
Or they'll say, oh, you must think of, you know, a lot about me or something. I'm like, no, I just been getting to know you.
Listen, you ain't that cute. Like, I love you, but no.
I can imagine how awkward that is, you know, because, and for me too, like when you go, oh, I'm a mental health therapist, they start telling me all of their life story.
Oh, yes.
Oh, well, you know, I need a good therapist for my son, or I need a good therapist for my
Here's
daughter.
our number. We have a website.
I don't want to hear all that right
What's
now.
your insurance?
Yes.
Open on Monday.
Yes. And then you start to see like some people, not everybody, but like some people start to have an agenda with you too. And they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to contact you. And then like you literally only hear from them if like life advice or I have this going on and it's like a severe case or something. I'm like, I can't know this. Like I'm not your therapist.
Right. Right.
So when I know that other people like in other fields, like I know like some attorneys that obviously I work with and they said the same thing, like, oh gosh, like they're going to ask me for legal advice or whatever. And I make sure that I try to put up a boundary or I respect their boundaries of like, I'm not going to just call you just for a legal question. Like, you know, we're colleagues or we're friends or whatever, you know, so.
But I will say that I have had, dear friends of mine that, you know, just grown up with, and they will reach out and just say, hey, you know, like, listen, you're the first person I thought of. And then, you know, what you got going on or what, you know, so, and I'll do that too, of course. I mean, because that is the beautiful network with attorneys, with doctors.
Absolutely.
And stuff. But I know even medical doctors, I mean, they're not allowed. They can, and that's the thing, like they cannot give medical advice. You cannot give, I mean, that's what people don't understand. I'm like, I mean, yes. And I think again, because mental health is just kind of new in the area, like, you know, talking about it, but I just go, no, I mean, I can't, you know, and this is what we are. So I just kind of quickly navigate them, you know, because you know, I move pretty fast, but it is funny when they do kind of, and then me, like, yeah, as a matter of fact, oh yeah, girl, like we could go there. You may want to call somebody. No, I'm just, because I've been diagnosing you, you know, no, but I mean, because I literally don't I
don't either.
I'm tired. I'm
And
done.
that's the thing. And I think because all of us are pretty well seasoned in this field.
Oh, we're seasoned.
Yes, we're well seasoned.
Just
I was
called
called
us
the old woman
old.
last night. Speaking of being seasoned, I was called the old woman last night.
From who though?
But I think it was with respect on it.
Oh my
well,
gosh.
it depends on who called it.
I know.
Because I was at a restaurant and I ordered cheeseburger. It was a combo. It's like a cheeseburger, hot wings, and fries. And the fries were like a little extra crispy, and so were the wings. And so I sent them back because they were too, you know. The guy, he yells to the kitchen. He goes, yeah, I need those wings and those fries remade. I have an older woman out here that don't like them extra crispy. And I go, excuse me, old woman.
Older woman.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He was like, I'm sorry, man. I'm like,
that is.
okay, so
see, Robin's the bully. You see
that triggered me when you said
I would have been pissed too. I would have been pissed too.
Y'all hold my earrings.
I know exactly.
My
Right?
maiden name.
And then
y'all
I asked my daughter, I go, well, how old was he? She goes, Mom, I think he's like 30. I'm like, he's not that far off from me.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm sorry. I segued.
Next time, just eat the wings,
All right,
girl.
but back
Eat
to-
the wings.
Well, the second batch, they were really good. Okay, well, back to the
That is
seasoned
so funny.
therapists that we are. True.
No, but yeah, you know, I think we're well seasoned
We
you know, makes me think that, you know, like we need to disconnect from our jobs. And I know a lot of people that feel that way. Like, we have families, we have our own mental, like, we need to be able to disconnect. So when we're off duty and we're out of this office, like, we need to do that, to be able to focus on like our families or our personal things that we have going on. So no, we're not automatically psychoanalyzing you. Now, does it come into play, like, to where if we get like bad vibes from somebody we meet, or like we start to see things happening like after we're meeting you, and then we're like, we know that pattern of behavior, yes, because we see it. So yes, those type of things happen, but they have to be like kind of be in our face, and then it's something in our back of our heads is like, something's not right about this human being. But we're not automatically assuming and trying to analyze what happened in your life and why you had 3 cocktails just now. Like, we just don't care.
Yeah. And then, then the question is, are you seeing someone? Are you seeing a therapist? I mean, I've had to, just what you just said, I've listened to some people's struggles or, like you said, getting that vibe or whatever. And I'll go, well, have you thought about seeing someone? Maybe they can give you a different perspective, or maybe, they can help you like regulate some of those emotions. That's when I get like, it gets serious. But I try to set boundaries. Like, I'm not in the session room. I am not a therapist right now. Like, I'm just trying to get my grocery, or I'm just trying to, because what happens when you run into clients? Well, how do you guys handle that when so do I.
Well, and it's funny because that has always been one thing that, I mean, of course they drilled that in your drill. I mean, we went to school so long ago. It's like, it was different, and social media world is different. Everything is different. And then when I lived in North Florida, one little itty bitty small town, I worked the crisis unit. So I was like, I had students in there. Hey, coach. And I'm like, hi, and then at school, hey, coach, you remember? And I'm like, we're going to, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's get through class, and then I'll talk to you in a little bit. And so, but I think, and it is funny because, and I know everybody's different, and I'm so wide open, and I teach, and I always have everything. So I always run in, especially sports psych, if I'm at different things. And so I think because I'm just who I am, if people come up to me, I'm whatever. I'm never, and if they want to say, but I do tell them, I'm like, listen, you know me, I'm good. I said, but if you want to say anything about it, that's on you. I will never.
Yeah, and we're not even technically allowed to. So
right,
if we see you in public, like, and we if you want to approach us and say hi and smile, we'll hi and smile. But we're not going to say, oh, hi, I'll see you in session next week. We're not going to do that. And again, like TJ, all the time I run into people, and it actually just happened to me yesterday evening at a networking event. And, I see clients of other businesses. Some people like meet me through these events, and they're like CEOs of their own company, and I'll see them at events multiple times a year, and I just act like, oh, look, we're colleagues, no problem. Now, if they say like, oh, I have to see you next week, or I need to make another session, okay, like that's
I let them navigate.
And there's no judgment too, and that's another thing too, is like, one thing that I know it's happened with me with family is that they automatically think that I'm judging them for their life, like, or things that, like, if they go through a divorce or whatever. And I noticed that, like, sometimes it's like, why didn't they tell me that? Like, that's my cousin, or that's my, whatever. And they're probably like, oh, it's probably because you're a therapist. And they think, I'm like, I'm a human.
Yeah, of course.
I get it. Like, I've had my own past too, and it's like, so sometimes that, I think, those are the instances that probably hurt me, is when people avoid me because they automatically assume I'm going to judge them. Like, I'm like, what makes you think that? Well, it's because of what you do. I'm like,
or they think that, because I'm held to some, no, y'all know, come on now, y'all know, like, listen, I am just me. But I do think a lot of people, but what, I also, and it is funny because I've been hurt a lot like by that too, because it's like, you kind of know, like, but at the same time though, we are who we are, and we are very authentic, and we are honest, and we do hold ourselves to a higher standard personally and professionally. And as we handle a lot, we're strong, and I do see that. Or I'll have, people say, oh, yeah, well, you're going to be mad with me, or you're going to be
like disappointed or something.
Who am I? I'm nobody. Like, listen, wait, what, why? And then I'm like, wait, what'd you do? Wait, really? Like, what'd you do?
What you talking
and why didn't you call me? Because I'd have been, I'm sorry. I know I'm here.
Right.
But I mean, so I think, and that's just a lot of times, like, people do, they just, they look at us differently
They do.
sometimes.
Right.
I think the people that know us,
Oh yeah. I mean, and I have
know,
some great, obviously some
Yeah.
amazing friends that have been friends with me for years, even before I was a therapist. And they sometimes will call me for like some advice and stuff and like have a little session with me. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I needed that. But like, I'd probably do it more I try to stay it more from like a friendship view.
Yeah,
probably using some
Absolutely.
of my knowledge, of
Yeah,
course, but
of course.
naturally, but like they know that because of who I am, I'm not going to judge you.
Right.
No.
Absolutely.
And I'm not. And I'm just going to be me when I'm talking to you. And I honestly try to do that with my clients too. Of course, I keep a boundary of a client, a therapist relationship. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you how it is. And that's what makes me the therapist I am, is because
Absolutely.
if you're doing something wrong, you tell me that you did something that, maybe I wouldn't approve of or agree with, and something happened out of it. I'm gonna be like, did you think you made a good decision? Just like I would a friend,
Absolutely.
And that makes me think of like how many people think that, the friendships are therapy. That is another thing, is like friends are not therapists. And yes, can they be therapeutic for you? Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely. My friends are therapeutic for me.
Absolutely.
Done.
And my
Yes.
time with them is therapeutic.
Right.
But just think like, if you're out there and you're like, okay, all I do is talk to my friends, I don't need a therapist. Okay, if that's working for you and you don't have any like major struggles and you feel like you're going through life just fine with all the ups and downs that happen, then great. Good for you. You're on a good track. But if you're at a point where you're talking to the same friends and the same things keep happening in your life, like for instance, you've gone through, let's say 4 divorces and you're 40 years old. And your friends, let's say, I know, I'm just making, this happens, right? And you have the same group of friends and you're going through this and you're like, man, I'm picking the same type of men or the same type of women, 4 divorces now, and I'm 40 years old. Okay, maybe it's about time to see a therapist, not because you're mentally ill, like, and that I'm still trying to break that. You don't need a therapist just because you have a diagnosis. Absolutely not. It's just like patterns. You got to have someone objective, not a friend, be able to see and dissect the situation from an objective view. Your friends have feelings involved. They're going to be biased towards you. They're going to be afraid sometimes to hurt your feelings. Therapists, we're not supposed to. We're not supposed to, we're supposed to tell you how it is.
Right. And then even with that, sometimes you may have those friends that are too hard and it may damage you in the process. You know what I mean? Or they just say, okay, this is what you need to do. And nothing else. You just need somebody to, like you said, to see it from a different perspective, help you to make or, to assist you with making the right decision, and it is okay to have the, friends. And you said something when you said about therapeutic. Therapy and, having therapeutic relationships are different.
Very different.
Because we do need therapeutic relationships. And, I was just thinking, I do have friends who are not therapists, but, most of the people that I do talk to on a regular basis are therapists.
Yes.
It just happened to be that way, and so we all understand, not to therapize this therapist or, just let all the, of course have boundaries, but don't judge another therapist based on what they're going through. So
absolutely. Yeah. And I like that what's therapeutic and what's not. Like there is, like, I know a lot of people say, well, this is therapeutic for me. And this is that. Absolutely. There's going to be things that are great that not just sitting in a room with your therapist. That is not therapy. But like for me, acts of travel and seeing different things, that for me is therapeutic. Absolutely. I need that for my soul. I need it for my soul. And that's why I do take like my little vacations, my little just getaways. It's therapeutic. It is not therapy though. I can't replace my therapist, and I've had one, and I tell all of us we need to have a therapist. Like we don't have to see them every week or whatever.
Right.
But if you have one that knows you and that you trust, we all need that because we are human first, therapist second.
Absolutely.
Well, and it's funny because one of the guys I listened to on my podcast, he is, he's clinical psych and he's, whatever. And he says, listen, I love the way he said it. He goes, because we all have to have our space. He goes, and sometimes we also have to unburden, and
Absolutely.
he goes, I have a therapist. He goes, I've been seeing him 30, 40 years. He goes, I'll call him for a check-in, just for a check-in. He goes, because then I go, get some space.
Right.
Because that is the thing, is that so many times we do take on so much. And I also get that question is like, how do you do it? Like, aren't you here? And I go, it's not mine. It's not mine. And I said, yes, I love my people. Y'all know I love big. But I'm like, it's not mine. I said, so I get to be objective. I get to be that like, problem solver.
Mhm.
And also it's funny when you were talking about, friends or, listen to this and that, and what I tell my people, I said, but here's the thing. I said, I don't have a dog in the race. And I said, and so when you come in with me or with somebody else, I said, plus you're listening through it, again, I always go logic, limbic brain, because limbic brain, we're emotional, we're connected, we're conditioned. We know what Nella's going to say. Oh, Nella, she's always going to tell me, I don't want to talk. TJ's going to be, and so it's like, we go, okay, yeah, but this is all about you. And I tell them, this is your treat. This is for you. No judgment, no anything. You leave it here. You give it to me. I give it to my plastic plant, Earl. Man, he loves a good trauma dump. He identifies as a sequoia. He loves a good trauma dump. I was like, oh, look at you. He just grew 6 inches. Don't tell him he did it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Earl, man, he's great. He's been with every office. But, and then they look at me because they just go, what? Because I do. I try to just let them know. And I just normalize it with them.
Absolutely.
And that's why
Normalize
I said,
I love that. Yep, normalize.
And then, but I pull in a lot because I'm such, as an educator, I've always done that. And I've always, because one of my girls even said, she goes, I love that you bring in, sometimes it's, self, things or other people. She goes, because I do feel like I'm crazy sometimes, like, because I am so in my head and I don't know if I'm doing it right, wrong, or indifferent. And she goes, and when you say something, she goes, okay, so I'm not that unhinged. Oh no, girl, you are. No, you are. Because no, but I mean, it is, but that's what I'm saying. And even with that, I say, some of the times it's what you think is like your biggest weakness or that you're avoiding is actually your biggest strength, but you've got to understand it. And that was one of my biggest things. And I wanted to share this today because I always talk about self-acceptance. And I heard something the other day and it said, we have to self-accept so we can self-advocate. I was like, yeah, that's that last little part, because I'm always talking about, but when you know who you are and you're in that 4th divorce and you start to go, okay, clearly I'm the only constant here. What is happening? Because even like what you said, some friends are hard. Well, just do this. I don't know how, or I don't even know what it is, and that's why I think when people come into therapy looks very different now than it did, 20, 30 years ago. We are a lot more like just, trying to give that good information and, because it's like, people are getting TikTok diagnosis and, oh, my friend and this friend and they, and I'm always like, and who's they? And, oh, well, because on Facebook, and I go, stop, like, please stop. And it's like, people have just given their authority and power away to all of these things that they think. And so then they just hate themselves. Well, I can't do that. I'm not that. And I go, but who are you?
Right. That's a really good point too. It's like, people are using TikTok as their therapist, and that it can go down a rabbit hole real fast, are there some good stuff on there? Absolutely. There's some great things that I see on TikTok and great videos and great inspirational, motivational people on there. But then you have the ones that are not. So how do you differentiate between the two? You're going to have to really look at that and have someone objective be able to say, okay, well, yeah, you heard this from this person on TikTok. But let's look at that a little bit deeper, and how does that apply to your life and your situation? Not everything is going to be fit into this little box.
Right. And I think too, besides that, having your own therapist, that it's personal for you. And we create those individualized, treatment plans just for you. So it's not like when you go on TikTok, that's like for everybody, you know what I mean? Or like you may, come up on somebody's, I don't even know how TikTok work, y'all. I just know I've been on TikTok before and I scroll up and I see all these things. But if you have your own therapist, your therapist can give you that treatment plan that fits you.
Well, and funny because just with one of my newer clients, we were talking about the algorithms, and of course, again, the hardest person to convince of anything is somebody that's been deceived. And we know that there's a lot of information out there that is not true, not accurate, and or bits and pieces of it are, and it's whatever. But if you don't know, again, if you don't know who you are struggling, and you start getting on this algorithm and you start confirming all of these things that
I see where you
are not right, well, then that becomes, no, if I don't wear my Converse on Tuesday, I am not okay.
Who told you that?
And and they can't even, and I'm like, okay, well, you got your Converse on, but you're not okay. You know what I mean? So I still try to go in and still meet them where they are, but they start to go here, but then that becomes their belief system. And so it's just very sad, because it's like, we do have a lot of kind of lost little people and we're trying to build that connections back up. I'm trying to do all this stuff. And like you said, I think because we're seasoned, old lady, we use it as tool. I love it because I'm always, as an educator, I'm always like, how do I, get this in a way that's I can get my point across. And so even like I've always been self-acceptance. I'm like, oh, self-advocacy. Yeah, that works, but we know what we do,
Right.
and I do get some good things and I do get some like, oh, that was really cool. But we use it as tools, got a hammer, got a saw,
Yeah.
but everybody else, it's like, no, I'm building my house on the TikTok diagnosis and you can't tell me
Right.
anything and you're wrong. Or I can't because you. So they literally end up limiting themselves on the very things that they need to grow.
We need to start normalizing therapy and normalizing having friends as therapists and not judging you automatically. And, normalizing other, areas like doctors and attorneys, they're human first. So,
Absolutely.
We have to remember that. I mean, now, of course, there are people who take that position that they're in and make it appear that they're above other people. Unfortunately, that is a reality in all areas, and I've seen
Even
it.
therapy.
I'm sure-
Even therapy.
Oh, even therapists.
Even therapy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
true.
There are therapists that are like, I'm above you because I know all this and I have all these degrees. Well, that didn't mean shit. I'm sorry.
Right.
If you're not a good human being and you don't recognize,
Right.
oh yeah, there's
She
a
said,
shit. I see,
Yeah,
calm
you should
down,
never
people.
make your clients
She's
feel
back.
that way.
No, and unfortunately, there are people that. So don't let if you've seen that before, that behavior, like with a therapist or a doctor or whoever it is, I know me like playing a dual role of an owner and a business, person and a therapist. It's like that's what I do. That's not who I am. So that's a big thing, is like recognizing that I am a human first.
Absolutely.
And I do have just as many probably, issues as everyone else and insecurities as everyone else and problems saying no like everyone else and stuff like that. So, we're not perfect. We use our knowledge the best that we can. I think if when you come from a good place and you are authentic and you're in it for the right reasons,
Absolutely.
it doesn't mean that we're going to be psychoanalyzing and judging you.
Well, because that's the thing. I mean, and it really does come down. And I love that. Like, our who is not what we do. We don't get wrapped up in, but again, it's like if I'm, going back to therapists and a lot of people, and it's funny because you said something earlier about, most of the people that you deal with or talk to they're in our field. And I told my students just this week, I said, y'all, I had an aha moment because I didn't realize I'm here all the time. I teach psychology at the college all the time and I exercise, you know what I mean? So it's like, when am I really out of my bubble, I guess, of academia and all this stuff? And so, I've been doing a lot more like, dancing with one of our former things. Jeannie and I have been doing a lot. And cause that's therapeutic for me. And and it has really kind of brought me back and, just listening and meeting different people and everything. And, just kind of hearing them talk and hearing it. And I'm like, oh yeah, not everybody's in this field. Oh, okay. Wow. Because it's sometimes, and even with that, that's a good reality check for us because I'll hear just, language or conversations going on. And of course, and even with that, sometimes I want to go, oh, no, that's not. Oh, okay. And, cause it's just my thing. And I go, wow, there's a lot of people that really don't know this stuff. And, that was and I told my students, I go, yeah, we're doing some good work. I said, but there's still a lot of people that this is not in their world at all, and so that's why we keep toning. But I mean, even with that, I had to remember that, yeah, everybody's still learning, everybody's still growing. And I can't even, because sometimes, we get in there just like, well, why don't you know that? That is not my place. I have to still, we're still at basics. That's okay, and get back down there. And so it's always a good reminder too, for us when we're not.
Yep.
And I didn't even realize I wasn't like in, I guess, that world, like not that much. It was very interesting. So when you said that, I was like, I literally just talked about that this
And it's
week.
not on purpose. It's
Nope.
it just happens.
where we are.
Yeah.
I know.
I do have a few friends who aren't. Like I have nurse friends, but they're still in some type of field where, you can
like
still kind
healthcare
of,
and kind of, education.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was it was kind of
Then I
funny
got
what you said.
bougie friends who they don't work, but they're still good people.
Yep. I love that. That was cute.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love it. Let me ask y'all this. Have y'all ever been in a situation to where say you're at like a family something, or you're at somebody's birthday party, or gosh, networking event,
Lord.
and somebody kind of puts you on the spot, or hey, so and so is, I got this person here, like Nella's going, yeah. How do you handle that?
I don't like it at all because I can just think of someone specifically. I will not call him out, but he has done that to me at a few events, like networking events. And
Why do I feel like I know who it is?
you probably do. You probably
I
do.
The minute she
Nella,
she can, yep.
She always tells them, oh, she's a therapist. She's like, da 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 da, and like starts saying all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, and they're like, oh really? And it's like a crowd of people. I'm like, I'm going to punch you later.
Yep.
I'm going to hit you.
Right now, you're going to get this.
Yes. I'm going to be like, yeah. So, I mean, at those things, I try to go with the flow and try to like divert the situation a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, but anyways, this is great over here. And I just tried to like divert it. And then I'm just, because that does happen. It has happened, unfortunately, too many times that I like at those type of things. Cause I'm like, that's not who I am. It is what I do,
right.
like, and unless it pertains to like what we're actually talking about, I don't see why you have to bring that up.
Right.
Like, I didn't bring it up. I'm not going to say, oh yes, well, I'm a therapist. So,
bring your chair.
Right.
yes,
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you how it is.
Like,
And-
I'm here to eat the barbecue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm here to.
Next time that happens to you at a picnic, just say, you know what? Oh, my stomach is starting to like really bother me. I ate too many beans. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And go to the restroom and just stay in there.
Yes.
Well, and I know, because I think sometimes, because you know me, I'm like, and I'll get blindsided. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, who? What? And I get so like, and I freeze up because, and then it's like, it's like when I'm here, I'm in the zone, I'm here, and it's like, that is my person. So sometimes I do, and I get so like lost because I'm like, and I then I feel so dumb because now I'm thinking, they're thinking, wow, we're not going to her place,
Well, my kids usually, they do that to me. Like my girls, they'll go, oh, my mom is a therapist and she can help you. And let me call her and see. And then they'll call me, Mom, so-and-so, they really need help. Like, oh my God. And you're the only person that I could think of. I'm like, just tell them to go on Psychology Today. There's plenty of therapists. But Mom, no.
Yes, that's happened. Anaya does that too because she has her friends and stuff. And I'm like, hey, the best thing is tell their parents they need to reach out. They need to get that person help because it sounds like they're struggling. And okay, Mom, because she knows. I'm like, they can't see me because she'll always back. You can't see. You can't see so-and-so. No, I cannot see that child of you, like friend of yours. It's not going to be okay. So that happens too. It made me think too of like my family that I reconnected with in Sicily when I was there. I hadn't seen them in like 30 years. So, I mean, cousins, aunts, uncles, like a ton of family came to see us and they found out, some of them found out, what I do. And over there, it's just a psychologist. So they don't have like differentiating of therapists or it's just psychologist. So as soon as they said, because over there, the culture is, most women don't have big careers. That's just not what they do really. That's the culture. They mostly like, take care of the home. Still very traditional. That's just what, so like all my cousins stay at home with the kids. That's just what it is. And the men go out and they work. So when they find that out, first of all, I'm like a woman. So they're like, oh my gosh, and then another thing is like, oh, we must have a lot of issues. You might have to basically I have to like work really hard with our family because of all the issues and stuff. And I'm just like, no, listen, I know our family has issues, but that's not different that every other family, every family has issues. So it's just funny because they automatically, oh yeah, she's a psychologist. And I'm just like, oh God, please. I'm just trying to have a Hugo Spritz right now. And gelato. I want my gelato, my Hugo Spritz. Yes. And I want to try to understand you guys speaking right now. I do not want to talk about our family issues.
Oh my.
Because it is. I mean, there's a lot of things I learned about my family and it was amazing, but yes, so that happens even in family situations.
That's true. I think it's even harder in family situations.
It is.
And when you ask her that question about if you're at a barbecue or a picnic or whatever, the only thing I can think of is like, no, it hasn't specifically happened at a barbecue. The only thing that my mom pushes me up to do at a barbecue is, okay, my daughter's going to say the prayer.
Yes.
Do you want this prayer to be therapy, baby?
I was just going to say, like, where are we going with that?
Yes.
So
that's funny.
And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes small talk, that's where I get so lost because it's like, I don't want to talk shop, but that's what we do all day. So sometimes I'm like, I mean,
I've
how about
avoided
them Gators? Let's go. I can talk sports all day. Let's go.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I've actually avoided people in the store, like, especially in like the, like Publix or whatever. I've avoided them because I don't want to talk. And I know that they're going to bring up something about therapy. And I know this sounds bad. You know who you are. And so I'm like, I'm going to go the other way because I don't want to, because I have boundaries. And sometimes it depends on who it is. You don't really want to like shoo them away, but you don't want to talk therapy either.
Right.
Or, and I know we had a, like talking about seeing some people, and sometimes you see people from the office that aren't necessarily your clients, but they know who you are. And I'm telling you, some days, all being in this all day, like having 7 or 8 clients, I got nothing left. And so like, even if somebody comes up talking, I'm like, listen, I'm really sorry, but like, I can't even, my brain is, and I feel bad because I'm like, can I call you later?
Yeah.
Can you just text me tomorrow?
You're right, because our
Send me an
brain
email.
is...
I'm done.
Yes, we're done. And sometimes
done.
that I have days like that too. And so like, we got to recognize that like we're doing this all day. And sometimes we've had those days where we have heavy shit, and it's like, we just need to like disconnect. And, like for me, I just love to just like look at trash TV. Like it makes me feel better. And I go into somebody else's life that is just, and I don't have to, and I can't say anything to them. I can just laugh or, whatever. So I like the crazy trash, like, reality shows. Okay. That helps me. So that's therapeutic.
Literally one of I had 2 of my clients ask me about Love Island or something.
Oh God, that's like the big craze right now.
Love
girl
Island. Or a Hoda girl, whatever. And then one of them looks at me and he goes, yeah, Dr. Robin, like you wouldn't like her. And I'm like, who is this person? Like, I don't even know.
I've been watching Divorce Sisters.
I don't like,
that sounds like a good one. I'd like.
It is. There were 8 episodes. Yeah. 8 episodes. I just stumbled across it and I really like it. And my husband was like, what do you watch? I'm like, Divorce Sisters.
Don't judge me.
Watch your back.
Last night, the Hall of Fame Bowl was on, I was like, football's back.
But it was so good though. Cause I'm looking at other people's lives. And I'm like, wow. Now I really was diagnosing them.
Yeah. Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
we can
she's the bipolar friend. Because there's 4 good friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's the bipolar one. She's the one that thinks she's better than the other ones. She just walks around like, I got it all together, and your husband is seeing somebody else, and you don't know it yet. So I mean,
that sounds like good stuff. I want to watch it.
You should.
I'm exhausted already.
I'm like, I'm not embarrassed.
No,
to say
I like the
it.
90-day fiance and the 90-day. Like, do you guys know that one? So
I haven't
like,
seen it, but
they go to
I don't watch it. Like, I don't even know.
So another trash show. But anyways, so that is the end of our podcast.
Yeah, it's got to be the end.
But
y'all are diagnosing us now.
I just want to go ahead and announce that we've been getting some, reach out from people wanting to collaborate and sponsor. So if you are one, I have not announced like, a way to contact us. So people are doing like, through Facebook or Instagram and things like that. So if I haven't reached back out, please just go ahead and email me because it's sometimes I'm still learning the social media stuff, guys. So I'm not
TJ
always
and I are not good at all at it.
So it's all on me. I'm trying hard. But there is a link. There are links I know in the YouTube where you can contact, and then there's links in the Buzzsprout, I believe, as well. But if not, go ahead and email me personally, Nella C, so NELLAC at bellamentalhealth.com. And I'm definitely would be interested in any collaboration or sponsorships that you guys have reached out. So, and please feel free to
also. I've got some coming in.
Yep. So a lot of people have been wanting to be on our podcast. So please, we're welcoming people of all different careers and experiences. So we love it. So, and thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
All right. Till next time.
Bye.